Hello, gentlemen. How's it going? League Cup. Oh, the League Cup. We love a bit of League Cup, don't we, gentlemen? Now, we've won the last 4. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm going to start this conversation off by saying, for me, the League Cup is fundamental, integral to Pep Guardiola's structure at Manchester City. The impetus of winning the trophy in February spurs you on for a later performance in the season. That's been reflected in results and statistics over the years. And I think that it's key to his philosophy because it's about laying down a marker, seeing where we're at, seeing who... It's a good judge. So, for example, like you can lose the League Cup, say, although we don't, we win it. And it allows Pep to find out things about his team that he wouldn't necessarily normally be able to find out in a regular league game or something like that. You know, let's say that 2019 when we went to penalties against Chelsea, Pep found out who we could rely on. Pep found out who could step up in the heat of the moment and make history for Manchester City. And I think that it's always a good indicator of how your season's going in general. And we've seen that since Pep Guardiola's been at the club, really. He has always tried in every competition, every single year. Some people say it's to our detriment, but again, I maintain that it is key to his philosophy that you've got to perform on all fronts because it really shows over the course of a season and it shows in the trophy cabinet. And it has done so far under Pep. So what do you guys think?
Well, it's the first trophy on offer, isn't it? Like you said, first trophy down there. I think it's a great marker for the rest of the season. I think it gives you that kick on, that spur that you need, especially if you win it. If you win that trophy, that winning mentality we've seen goes into the last part of the season. Because if you look at every time City have won it for the last 4 years, our massive winning runs come towards the end of the season. And that, to me, is not a coincidence. It's a winning mentality that you just get into the club and you get into the players. And it happens with the fans as well. And I just love the Carabao Cup anyway, because it's a great day out in February. It's a family competition.
Yeah, it's a winning mentality, but it's a good marker for youth players progressing into the first team. It's a good marker for fringe players to establish themselves in the first team. It's a real marker for people to fight for places in this team because it's the most competitive squad in the Premier League for starting 11 places. So, Richard?
Yeah, I think it really releases the pressure. I think winning it in February means that every player in that squad and the manager know they've got a trophy in the cabinet for the season. And I actually think that, as you said, that provides a real impetus. And it also means that, whatever else is happening in every other competition, the season hasn't been a complete failure. I think that releases some pressure, provides some impetus. But I think it reflects more than anything the fact that we take it seriously, reflects the winning mentality in the club. And I do think that teams who sacrifice trophies, it can work, but I think generally the harm from sacrificing trophies, the losing games actually, is a negative. I think that showed with City last season. I think we didn't have much choice but to rest players in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea and rest players in a few league matches at the end of the season. But I do think that impacted us because we went off our winning run. There was a bit of uncertainty about, players finding themselves out of the first team and in a kind of reserve side. And I think that took away our momentum and did affect us towards the end of the last season. I think we saw that in the Champions League final. Whether we could have kept playing the first team and not burnt out the players and had serious injury is, I guess, a physical, medical question for the team. But I think that anything like that is a negative, and you want to keep what momentum you can without that burnout.
Something you just said there, Rich. Something you just said there. A key word that you used there, which I've never really thought about it in this way before. You said pressure. And you're quite right. If you win a trophy in February, you can't write the season off as a failure. So there are certain players in our squad. Listen, there are certain players that operate tenfold better when the pressure's on every touch of the ball, every minute of the game. And there are some players that just don't have that mental capacity to overcome that levels of pressure. And if you've got a trophy in the cabinet that you took part in, that can certainly allow you to kick on and realise that you've not failed and realise that you've got something to contribute. And it's a justification of worth and it's a justification of efforts. And I've never looked at it in that way before, that pressure and the relieving of that pressure is a key, almost a key component of Pep Guardiola's success, because, yeah, we do play better around that time of year. We do seem to be more free and more fluid around that time of the year. And when that trophy's in the bag, it works in the right way. It encourages the player that thrive on pressure, and it relieves the pressure from the players that suffer. Like, for example, I'll throw Raheem Sterling out there as an example. Raheem Sterling in 2019, when we won that League Cup, he was like a totally new player for a couple of weeks after that, because it was, and Phil Foden as well. Phil Foden, over the last 4 years, the League Cup has been a great way that he's blooded himself into the first team. And he's thrived under that League Cup, and obviously I don't know Phil Foden, but I bet if you could speak to him one-on-one, he would certainly point to the importance of the competition. Ryan?
Well, you got that man of the match in the game in the final against Villa a couple of years ago, which obviously is just going to have helped him in terms of his confidence pushing into the first team. I think you'll get that quite a bit with a lot of the youngsters, because a lot do get to contribute a lot more in the League Cup than, say, the FA Cup, probably because there is a better chance of playing a team, say, lower down the league than there is in the FA Cup, because of when the clubs come in. So I think overall it's a good competition for the youth to really show what they've got, but still not to, as some managers do, is disrespect the competition, as a lot of people like to say managers do in the FA Cup. A lot also do it in the League Cup. Like you see with Liverpool, they just throw it away every year, pretty much.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look,
they got to the final, that was right after Klopp had just came in. The team wasn't competing for anything major at the top, like a league title or a Champions League. So that's why they took that competition seriously that year that they got to the final and lost to us. But since then, it's been just something that they kind of throw away. You see it with other teams as well. So it's I really appreciate how City take it seriously every year, but do also integrate younger players into the squads when they can.
There aren't many, if any, other teams in the leagues that can attack all four competitions in the way we do. Like you've just quite rightfully pointed out there, a team like Liverpool, if they think they're going to have a good run in the Champions League, they will throw the FA Cup in the bin, throw the League Cup in the bin, and even throw the league in the bin. Everything's at the detriment to one other competition when it's a team like Liverpool. Whereas Manchester City, we're so blessed in the fact that I don't know whether it's about squad depth or whether it's about squad ability or whether it's about proper management, but we just attack every competition with the verve that it deserves. Like the League Cup, for example, we've never shown disrespect to that trophy, and we've never shown. I mean, we've had less success in the FA Cup, which you ask any City fan, we really want that FA Cup badly, quite badly. Again,
we get to semi-final and can't seem to get off that final pushing block, and I don't know if that's because of, at least in that season, in the 98-97 point season, where that was, we were being pushed right to the end. So in that semi-final, say, you kind of have to maybe put out a bit of a weaker side and prioritise that final push at the end of the season, which again comes down to squad management. But a lot of the times it is, we get to that final stage and we just can't get over the line in the FA Cup. Whereas I think maybe with the League Cup being earlier in the year, you've not got into the proper gritty stages of the Champions League at that point either. So I think it's a good day out earlier in the year, and it has less pressure on it than
there is definitely less pressure. What about the competition as fans? Because when I think about the League Cup, I see that it's just like, it is literally just a domestic version of the Champions League after the group stages, because you're playing teams potentially with all levels of quality. We'll put out a different squad usually than we do in the Premier League games, just like in the Champions League, and at the end of the day, it's a straight run to the final, isn't it? Almost just like the Champions League, it's two legs and stuff like that. So how do you as fans see the actual competition itself?
I really enjoy it. I said I love the day out. I love the semi-final part as well because you had the two legs and everything else. I did like that part, especially when we played like teams like Bristol City and you were going away to Bristol Ashton Gate and things like that, and it just adds a different dimension because the FA Cup. And you know the other good thing, it's not at Wembley. There's no semi-final at Wembley Stadium, which to me it makes the final feel a bit more special.
Oh, we all know why the FA Cup has semis at Wembley,
Yeah,
which
of
is
course we do,
ridiculous.
yeah.
It's to pay the
Why?
bloody stadium off. But everyone and their mother, if they could have a vote on it, would definitely say, look, that pitch should be preserved solely for the final because that's the prestige of the day.
It should go back to Villa Park, Hillsborough, and all that, like it used to do.
Sure.
And I think we're all in agreement.
But that's the FA Cup. But the League Cup, like you say, that two leg semi final was special for a lot of years. Rich.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. It's actually the hardest competition to watch down here because not every game is televised until the later rounds. Fortunately, with City being the top side in it, the last year or two, most games have been on. I enjoy it because I really like seeing a few of the kids playing. I like to see players who I've heard about, the likes of Palmer or Lavia, who you've heard about, but you're not really seen other than watching a bit on the City app of some reserve games. It's good to see them against top players and almost more exciting for me than the FA Cup because we tend to play a few more youth players than we do in the FA Cup when we tend to play probably half of our sort of second string first team in the FA Cup. But what staggers me the most is why teams like Tottenham, West Ham, which is relevant for this week, why teams like that don't go all out to win this and win a trophy. Why, Solskjaer over at United hasn't gone all out to win this, because winning a trophy changes the mentality of a club. It takes pressure off a manager because you're not going to have the press saying, they've been manager there 4 years, they've never won anything. And, I kind of get Liverpool doing it. I don't agree with it, but I kind of get it because they are competing for other things and they have won some other things. But teams like Tottenham, why don't they put their first team out almost more than Premier League games to try and win a trophy? They're not going to win. They're not going to win the Premier League. They're not going to win the Champions League.
I'm one of the most shocked people. Why not
get yourself a trophy?
When you look at Tottenham, not now. I think Tottenham are done now. They're over the hill. Kane's over the hill and it's an age team. But 3 or 4 years ago, Tottenham, the fact that they didn't win like a League Cup or an FA Cup is unbelievably shocking. Now, you said a couple of things there. In recent years, we have played United, haven't we, in the Cup on the way to a final?
Semi-final.
Semi-final under Solskjaer, where Solskjaer, a better manager would have beaten us. And then the other thing about Wednesday, which is that we're playing West Ham, at West Ham, a chance to see some youth players, perhaps. An exciting chance to see some youth players. Edozie, McAtee, Lavia, Palmer, maybe Delap. I don't know what his state of fitness is like. But I'm going to go completely against the grain on this one. And I think that we might actually... I think West Ham... I think David Moyes, given the fact that he's got 15 points in the league so far, which is usually what West Ham have got by Christmas, I think David Moyes is actually going to earmark this game to try and do us over. I think West Ham will be taking this competition seriously this year. Now, you can have your thoughts on that, but what do you guys think to another team actually taking that competition as seriously as we do? And obviously we'll find out on Wednesday whether that's true or not.
I don't think West Ham will take it as seriously because I think they'll see this as their time. This is their week off a bit more because obviously they're also playing in Europe, which I think adds an extra element to how they have to manage their squad along with the Premier League. So realistically, them being in Europe is going to bring in a hell of a lot more money than the League Cup is, which at the end is what I think it'll come down to. So if you have to kind of...
Silverware, buddy boy. I get what you're saying, but silverware.
Silverware from a fan's perspective, but from a closer perspective, would you rather get say, however much you get for getting through the group stage of the Europa League, or would you rather get less money for...
Ryan, while there's no... I can't fault your logic of what you're saying, but sterile, mate. Come on, the love of the game. Go for it. Surely. Rich Martin.
I'm not saying they shouldn't, but that's what I'm saying I think they'll do. I don't think they'll be taking the League Cup as seriously.
I'll be honest, I totally forgot West Ham were even in Europa League. So that actually has just changed my thinking, because I know what Ryan's saying, because look at the owners of West Ham, Sullivan, Goals, Breda, and you know what they're all about. They are all about the money and the cash cow and everything else. They are business people. So for me, now I've just realised that I don't think West Ham will put out the team I thought they were going to put out. I thought, like you, West Ham would come at us. Because I'll tell you what, the fans will be up for it Wednesday night. The fans will be absolutely pumped and ready to go for Wednesday night to beat us. They went to the Swamp and beat them, which, on Rich's point, don't surprise me, because that was all his get out of jail card. But unfortunately, it comes down to another question of top four is suddenly now more important than a trophy, which is an absolute heads gone where the state of the game is.
That's what I'm saying, Martin. But that's like the financial side versus the passion side. Rich, tell us all about it. Rich, go on.
So I've never been to West Ham Stadium. You say the fans are up for it. The one thing watching it on TV is the fans look like they're miles from the pitch.
Oh yeah, you need binoculars.
The sounds going out there.
Yeah,
so
that's just how horrible the new stadium is.
Yeah, they tend to be not a hard away game for us, because you don't get that atmosphere or the fans on top of the players. It's a big pitch, which always,
it's not a Goodison. It's not a Goodison where the winger can feel the guy's breath on the back of his neck.
I'd say it's not an Upton Park.
Not an Upton Park.
It's not a bowling or Upton, whatever you want to call it.
It's not West Ham, which is why I think they
let's be clear. Let's be clear. That's no fault of the fans, because West Ham fans are wonderful fans. So anyway, Rich, what were you saying?
If it wasn't fair, if I was picking a Premier League team to go and win it, if City weren't going to win it, I'd be as happy West Ham winning it as anyone else. I think the fans deserve a trophy. I think they're good fans, a good club. So, but I just think it's not an intimidating place to go. I mean, I'd be much more worried if we were going to, say, Crystal Palace or somewhere where, it's a bit of a horrible atmosphere for the away team, whereas I just don't think West Ham is.
It's funny you say that, Rich, because at West Ham you're 10 miles from the pitch, and at Crystal Palace you can't see the pitch. You can't see the pitch. Right, so let me quickly, very briefly, let's get all of your final thoughts. Which players you expect to see on Wednesday, and what the score is going to be. I'm not going to give a score prediction because I'm still sticking with this. West Ham might actually go for it.
I'll jump first on this. Looking at that game on Saturday when we play Brighton, I think everyone that was on the bench will play. So I'm expecting Zinchenko to go in at left back. I'm expecting Fernandinho to play at CDM. I'm even expecting Kevin De Bruyne to play. I think the youngsters will be your Cole Palmer, possibly Edoza. Maybe Lavia. But the trouble is with Lavia, Fernandinho hasn't played a lot of games. So that's the problem with Lavia right now. You've got Fernandinho who needs to get minutes in his legs, especially at 36, because at 36, the body and the muscles won't go as relaxed as going. He needs to get minutes in his legs. So I don't think there'll be that many youngsters. I don't think it'll be anywhere near what we saw at Wickham. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think there'll be that many, especially with that team. I think, Sterling will play. I think there'll be a lot of, I think we'll have quite a strong team.
Yeah. Briefly, we will win 2-1. Cole Palmer will get another goal. We'll rest 5 or 6 of the team who played at the weekend. So I think Palmer and Sterling will come in. Probably be Ake and Stones if he's fit, playing centre-back. So I think we'll rest our full-backs. But I do think it'll be a reasonably strong team.
Ryan?
I'm going to go with 4-2. I'm going to go with a very entertaining game. I think Sterling will start. I think you'll have Cole Palmer start. And I'll go out there and say one of the centre-backs that played against Wickham will start. Not saying which one.
I'm
but
with
one of them
Ryan
will
on this
start.
one. One of the kids is going to get a goal. Because you just said there, Rich, that our fullbacks will get a rest. Well, we haven't got another right back because Cancelo is our backup right back. So who's going to play? It's going to have to be Walker or Cancelo at right back. One of them's got to play.
I think they'll rest them both. I think they're the players who they really
Well, who's
know
going to play
need
at
the
right
rest.
back then?
One of the kids then.
Probably just give Mahrez a game at right back. Sod it.
I think Zinchenko will play at left back.
Yeah, Zinchenko will play at left back, and I think the kids will fill 3 or 4 places.
I think Stones will start because he needs the minutes.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I
And
don't
Aki as well.
Yeah, one of the young centre backs that played against Wickham. I think he might have one of them beside him.
Right, gentlemen, pleasure as always. League Cup, we're going to batter West Ham apparently. I'm wrong. West Ham aren't going to take it seriously. They care more about Europe, which, like Ed's gone, than they do about a domestic trophy. We love the League Cup. I think we've won 8 in our history, joint top winners, and we've won 4 in a row, joint top again with the same team, the Unmentionables. But we love it. Let's make it 5. Thank you.